we have an opportunity to have a nice, enriching conversation based on what I posted last night. I said, why are you still getting blocked? Or why are you getting blocked on my pages after still doing the Kalbo jokes? Now, I got many, many, many different types of comments. All some valid, some parang, okay, wow, you kind of missed the point. First of all, guys, if you're going to respond to something like that, I recommend that you really watch the video I attached it to. Tayo kasi mga Pilipino, minsan nagre-react lang sa, alam mo yung parang nagre-react ka lang sa article, pero hindi mo binasa yung article. How can you comment accurately if you don't understand the context of why a person is saying those things? How can you understand the message of an article if you don't read the full article? So first and foremost, if you're gonna respond in the comments, intindihin mo muna yung konteksto kung bakit ko sinasabi yun. Kasi kung pinanood nyo yung video, I would probably have a lot more engaging comments na parang makakapag-usap talaga tayo na maayos. I'm trying to give you context to why I'm saying something. Here is the context. Click mo yung video para mapanood, para maintindihan mo mabuti. But if you don't click the video and you're gonna comment based on just what I said, na hindi mo naintindihan yung buong konteksto kung bakit ko sinasabi yun, we're gonna have a hard time talking because you're coming from here and I'm coming from here. Parang papunta akong Baguio, papunta kang Sultan Kudarat. Seriously, we can't talk. We're just gonna hit different points. May sinasabi yung mga tao na parang masyadong snowflake naman, or parang ay dapat you have to be a little bit more tough pagdating sa, listen. Again, if you watched the Kalbo jokes, the last video, you will understand why I'm saying it. I'm not saying stop Kalbo jokes. Honestly, guys, the beautiful things about Hustisya para sa Kalbo and Kalbo Gama, which you will see at the State of the Community, meaning my very first video where I take accountability for what I've done and what I saw my community actually was versus what I wanted it to be, you would see that I was very proud of the positive things of Hustisya para sa Kalbo and Kalbo Gama. I have received messages from people losing here saying, thank you, Ari. It's giving me a little bit easier time to accept where I am with where you're with all this lighthearted banter. The good lighthearted banter talaga. I've had cancer survivors message me or people who are going through chemo saying, thank you so much. This is really helping me during a difficult time. That's what I loved about Hustisya para sa Kalbo and Kalbo Gama. That was the intention. Let's talk comedy, context, and intent. Comedy, konteksto at intention. Okay? Context meaning the what, the situation. Intention, why of an action. Bakit ginagawa? Ano ang rason kung bakit ginagawa ang isang bagay? Context and intent. And that's something that you need to understand in any type of comedy. Konteksto at intention. Context and intent. I learned this from Trevor Noah. He said it and I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Context is everything. You see it makes you angry. You don't wonder why it makes you angry. You don't even know if it was designed to make you angry. I've realized it's so important to protect yourself from that. Try and find the context wherever you can.
I love Trevor Noah's work. Ang konteksto ng Kalbo Gama, the premise, is I wanted to do a Bald Lives Matter. This was during the time where Black Lives Matter was happening, all these movements, and it was the pandemic, and I was like, I'm gonna do Bald Lives Matter. Pinaglalaban ko ang karapatan ng mga kalbo. That was the initial premise and intention and the context I was putting myself in, the situation I was putting myself in the comedy of Hustisya para sa Kalbo. Justice for the bald, right? Basically, Bald Lives Matter. That really was the intention behind all of it. It was to fight for Kalbo rights, basically. And I still think it's funny till now. Because yun naman talaga yung intention. And we made a lot of brilliant and really, really fun things and really lovely exchanges from that. Ano ang mali kong ginawa? Yung mali kong nagawa doon, my mistake there's, if I stayed true to Bald Lives Matter, then I would have kept fighting and pushing the narrative. Dapat i-push ko ng ganong direksyon. Anong nangyari? The egg tray joke went viral. Sir, saan ka natutulog? Sa labas o sa egg tray? Pag pinapalabas ako ng misis mo, it was a smart joke. It was a smart joke. Like, objectively, nakakatawa yon. But for me to react to that, Had I stayed true to the premise, and this is a learning that I've done, I learned from these experiences. This was a realization. When I responded to that, na nag-viral, like it really went viral, and my wife laughed, and the exchanges between me and my wife are always really wholesome. Saan ako natutulog? Kasi my wife bullies me with love. She is the El Presidente. She is the one who will really bully me with love.
Because you're so cute.
Because I'm so cute. I'd wear one.
Of course not.
Loves bullying me. And I love. Not cute. Tingnan mo, pati na, she will bully. Minsan, bubungkuin lang ako, bug. Tapos para lang makita yung mukha ko. And she's like, I'm like, why are you doing that? And she's like, tuwan-tuwa. That is the context of our relationship. So when she was in it, it felt, yung reaction ng misis ko when that went viral, it was wholesome for me. Pero it wasn't aligned with Bold Lives Matter. That was the beginning for me of the end of the derailment of Bold Lives Matter, of Hustisya para sa Kalbo. When I participate in people wanting to just joke about how I look, and then nagre-react lang ako na parang, "Hoy, ba't mo sinasabi yan? Mali yan, naman, mali." Pero pakawawa. And that's me because I'm not the type that really wants to dunk on people. I'm not the type. I don't have the heart for it. I'd rather take the butt of the joke and be self-deprecating than say something mean back. Like, di ba, Choy? My wife will destroy you. But me,
He's a bait one.
I really don't have the heart to really dunk on people or insult them or just answer back. I would rather talk to you properly. So, when someone said the egg tray joke, I'd be like, "Oy, wag kang mali yan, ha, ma'am." Ganon. That's how I am. And nangyari is, I kept doing that. Yun, I did that for years. Nagre-react na, "Sir, anong shampoo mo? Head and Shoulders." Bakit? Head and Shoulders. And that's funny in its case. But I wasn't pushing it the way I really wanted to. I was just reacting to virality. I took my initial premise and I didn't stay true to it. And that was my mistake and my failure. Looking back, and anong nangyari? I did it for so long. And listen, if you look at state of my community, if you look at that, I was really going through a really hard time during that time. And I was very open about it because I wanted to be honest with my community. Why would I? You know what? Yung mga carbon lodi, yung mga Johnny Sins, yung mga kalbo ka ba? Hoy, kalbo. Yung mga ganun. I did that in social media. But I'm not one to tolerate that type of behavior, especially if it's coming from maliciousness. Yung kalbo ka ba, yung mga, "Sir, anong shampoo nyo? Sir, kalbo kayo?" Yung mga ganong type of comment, ano ang intensyon ng tao pag ginagawa yon? "Kalbo ka ba? Sir, anong shampoo nyo?" "Uy, carbon lodi," yung mga ganon. Ano yung intention? It's not to bring people up. It's not to make you laugh. It's to really pipintasin ka. Gusto ka talagang insulto. Now, insult comedy, I'm not saying insult comedy shouldn't exist or roast and all of those things, but that's not me. And that's not something I wanted to ever encourage because that's not my style of comedy. Like, hindi yan ang style ng comedy ko. Look at my comedy all these years. Do I insult people? I don't have the heart for it. Some people can take it. Some people can do it. Do you? That's fine. That is a different style of comedy that has been done, but is not something for me. I just don't want to encourage that. But anong ginawa ko? I participated in that for years at kasalanan ko yon. And what I learned from virality, I tell you, not everyone, hindi nyo maintindihan to. Not everyone can understand this. Virality is something that not everyone goes through. And just like money, if you get a bunch of riches, makikilala mo talaga kung ano yung mga nandyan sa kaloob-looban mo. Virality does the same thing. The things that are in you and within you, lalabas yan. Why was I tolerating that sort of behavior towards me? Na sinasabi ng mga colleagues ko, they're bullying you na. Or where TikTok was already saying that I'm encouraging bullying pero hindi ko makita kasi I was coming from a place naman talaga where I wanted to do light-handed banter and make people laugh. Pero yung mga comments, yung mga majority na yon, hindi yun eh. Insulto yun, guys. Kalbo ka ba? Nararamdaman ko pag nakikita ko sila in person. Like, I can feel it. Gusto lang akong insultuhin. They just want to just, kalbo, carbon lodi. Like, you can feel it. It doesn't feel light. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel like they wanna, they wanna laugh with me. They wanna laugh at me. And I allowed that. I allowed those type of people to come into my community, to come into my space. Sometimes at its worst, may taong humahawak ng ulo ko. Hinawakan ng ganun. An invasion of personal space, walang respeto sa space mo. Like walang respeto for your personal space. I was allowing those type of people in my community and in my space, and that was my fault. And why? I felt I experienced virality for the first time. My insecurities, my demons came out. And I had to look within myself. Why am I allowing this? Why am I allowing this? I've always felt that I was inadequate growing up. So I had a need for validation from others. People who go through virality will understand this. But people who don't, it's going to be very hard to understand what happens to you when you have millions and millions of views consistently, and millions of people saying this, saying that, and you're getting all this attention through virality. I've done showbiz, that's one experience. Virality is somewhat the same but different. Guys, virality will really test a person who a person is. And you'll either come out of it knowing who you really are, or you'll come out falling to your demons. And I learned from that. I allowed this behavior. Alam mo yung kalbo ka ba? Just to understand, just to give you better examples. Yung kalbo ka ba? Hoy, kalbo, yung mga ganon. Kalbo, 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 yung mga ganon yung intention, bakit mo sinasabi? It's not to uplift, it's to insult. It's the same thing as a lot of Filipinos experience. Oy, taba mo. Oy, mataba ka. O, taba mo na. What is the intention of someone saying mataba? Sure, totoo naman, mataba ka. But why? I just want to point out that you are fat. Do I want to make you feel good? No, I want to point out na mataba ka. Mataba ka naman. Now, for people who say, uy, totoo naman, mataba naman siya. Uy, totoo naman, kalbo naman. It doesn't feel good to be the receiving end. Let's take this as another example. Sige. Uy, mataba ka. Sabihin natin, uy, mahirap ka. Mahirap ka. Wala kang pera. Uy, totoo naman, mahirap ka. Uy, wala kang pambili nito. And then how would you feel? How would you feel? You're trying your best, you're going up. Some people, of course, yes, kasalanan nila bakit sila ganoon. True, but it's a hard situation to be in. People who are overweight, yes, they're responsible for themselves, but they're obviously going through something. People na walang pera at mahirap, kasalanan nila na bakit sila nandun, but it's a hard situation. Pero gusto mo lang sabihin na nandun sila sa sitwasyon na yon. Mahirap ka eh. Mataba ka eh. 'Di ba? Kalbo ka eh. Yung intention, meaning kung bakit mo sinasabi yon. That's what makes it painful and it makes it heavy to be at the receiving end. Yung pag naririnig mo yun, hindi siya magaan eh. Mabigat siya eh. And that's what I was getting. And if you don't understand that, I don't know how else to explain it to you. Where I was coming from, I still do Kalbo jokes Like, the things that I was coming from to want to uplift and entertain, sometimes I just do it in weddings. And I said this in my video. Ginagawa ko pa rin. And when I see people coming to me na parang, sir, alam mo yung mga kalbo ng ganun-ganun. Oy, sir, ganito. Na magaan. I'm okay with it. Kasi kitang-kita mo naman, magaan yung pinanggagalingan mo. Pero yung mga kalbo, I'm just like, okay, all right, great. You can be... Like, for example, what's a joke I usually do? When I see another bald guy in a wedding, I'll be like, sir, let's say kung mas matanda sa akin, sir, eto na sir, kumusta po kayo? It's good to see a kapatiran here. Kapatid, sir. Senior to, nauna to sa akin. Sir, respeto sa mga haligi. Yung mga ganon. Or like, I see someone same age or mas bata. Ay, eto na. Kapatid, kumusta ka? Kumusta? Yakap, kalbugama, kumusta ka? Makita tayo sa bonfire, ha? Nawalan ka man ng buhok. Nagkaroon ka naman kapatiran. And people laugh because I'm coming from a place where it's light-hearted banter coming from a wholesome place where, yes, we're both bald, we're brothers, nawalan ka ng buhok pero may kapatid ka naman ngayon. You know? Or I see someone bold, yung mga kalbo magaling magsalita. Magaling magsalita mga yan. Sir, di ba? Tingnan mo. Di ba nakakatawa siya? These intention, why I'm doing the action, is basically coming from a lighthearted place. And that's the point. Guys, sinasabi ko lang, I said tama na. I was participating in letting these people in my life and in my community. I was allowing this type of behavior. At sino may kasalanan doon? Ako. Bakit ko ginawa yun? Marami rin akong hindi ako perfectong tao. I have my issues and I have my demons, I have my darkness. My demons and darkness and insecurities allow that behavior. And that's on me. So I had to take a step back. I said, wow, I don't want to allow bullying. Imagine yung ganun klaseng pagjo-joke at pag-iinsulto. If I allow that behavior to me, am I not permitting it and encouraging it to be done to other people? To be done to someone actually losing their hair? To be done someone going through alopecia? To be done who really just, oh my God, I don't look good with hair. And now kalbo, ganito, ganito. I'm allowing that. And I know why TikTok banned me. I know why TikTok kept flagging me because it was allowing bullying. It was encouraging bullying. That was my fault. And I wanted no part of it. I wanted no part of it. That's what I don't want. And the people I block, the people I ban, the people I just don't want in our community are those people that I talked about yesterday. People who still do kalbo jokes when I'm talking about mental health. People who still saying my anong shampoo mo when I'm talking about losing my father. People who still say kalbo, kalbo when I'm talking about something heartfelt and wholesome and human and real. Off. Wala sa lugar. Read the room. Wala sa hulog. Sinabi ko na a year ago, ginagawa mo pa rin. You deserve to be blocked. This is not the community for you. There's no decency. Wala. Na parang gusto lang mag-joke, gusto lang maghila, gusto lang manghila pababa, gusto lang mang-insulto. That's who I'm blocking. That's who I instructed my admin to block. If you see that na ganon, block mo na. Tignan mo yung video. Ano yung video? Pinag-uusapan mental health or wholesome or medyo seryoso or heartfelt. Tapos kalbo-kalbo, block mo. Don't even ask me. Block mo. And that's why you're getting blocked. Because you're commenting a kalbo joke on something that's not even about it anymore, which I haven't done for so long. That is why you're getting blocked. I'm not discouraging any type of comedy. Life is freedom. You can do whatever you want. This is a free country. Joke about whatever you want, but just be willing to live with the consequences of what your actions are doing. That's it. Then do whatever you want. I just don't want those actions or those things in my community because I am responsible for my community. That's it. Context, intent. Always understand ano ang konteksto, ang sitwasyon, at bakit ginagawa ng isang tao ang aksyon na yun. What is the intention? You will learn a lot understanding context and intent. I hope that clears it up. And honestly, I learned so much from that. If I were to do Justicia para sa Kalbo and Kalbogamo all over again, I would have done it more responsibly and not allowed that type of behavior. But it just became too big already to the point where I had so much of that toxicity in my community and I didn't want it. And honestly, guys, doing Kalbo jokes for 3 years, I'm done with it. There's so many more creative ways to make people laugh. There were some bits of Kalbogama that I still wanted to do that I might do in the future just because there's just one bit na lang talaga na gustong-gusto kong gawin. That would be a surprise if I do it, but if I let that go, that's it. I did it for 3 years. I really came from the best intentions, but I also failed in trying to uphold and stay true to the premise and my intention. By allowing bullying, I really derailed from my goals. And that was my fault. And I didn't want to encourage that anymore. So there you go. I hope you understand that. I hope we learned a thing or two about context and, of course, intention. And yeah, for those who understand and have really, really constructive and really, really engaging things to say in the comments. I appreciate that. For all those who are going through losing their hair, going through chemo, going through alopecia, and having to deal with the real insecurity, not me choosing to be bald, but the real issues and insecurities of losing your hair, my best to you. I hope you can look at the past Kalbo jokes where it was really wholesome and really entertaining, and maybe it helps you learn to accept where you are and learn to just take control of what you can. You might be losing your hair. There are ways to still maybe grow it back. There are many ways. But for me, ako exercise. Like, take control of what you can. Get strong in a different way. Develop yourself in different parts of your body that you can control. And maybe that'll give you a newfound confidence that you never had. I truly wish that for you. My best to everyone. Thank you.